I know this is not a sexy message. Nobody really wants to hear this. When I was younger, man, this type of talk used to piss me off. Just get on with it, man. I don't want to hear this shit. Now that I'm 32 years old and kind of been around the place a little bit and have kind of had a number of experiences, I now understand that this is actually the topic, the main topic of the whole thing. Take care of yourself, man. Take care of yourself. Check your ego. Screw this whole YOLO kind of approach to lifting. Have aggression, but the key is to have kind of controlled aggression about lifting. You can't lift weights, yawning up to the bar. There needs to be a certain amount of aggression and anger when you lift. I don't really exhibit that stuff, kind of like I don't jump around and dance around the damn thing. I don't need people slapping me. I just talk to myself in my brain before I go to lift, and I say a couple of things to myself that just infuriate me, and I just want to walk through freaking walls. I want to jump through ceilings, but I don't exhibit that. I internalize all that energy, and when I put my hands on that bar, I try to throw the bar. That's my style. But I just want to say that it's a skill, because you want to be angry, you want to kind of run through walls, but at the same time you need to understand when to pull back. So yesterday I did 240 kilo deadlift PR. I've never done anything like this in my life. Went home, ate, rested a little bit, went to a night duty, had a night shift, finished at 8 o'clock. I got home like at 8 o'clock, 8:30, went to bed. Woke up at 4 p.m. and oh my God, I feel like somebody's just taken a baseball bat while I was sleeping and just smashed the shit out of me on my back. My erectors are sore from the bottom all the way pretty much to the traps, almost up to like the shoulder blades. Palpating my erectors is extremely painful. It got me thinking. I woke up and I'm like, this is the good pain. DOMS is the good pain. Your muscles have had a good workout, but some people wake up with bad pain, structural problems, structural pain, popped discs, slipped discs, herniated discs, spinal fractures, all sorts of things. It just got me thinking, when I was younger, man, I had this scary incident that happened to me, and that kind of completely changed my view on lifting, changed everything I thought about aggression and training, really made me kind of mature in this sense and understand what the hell is going on. I'll tell you the story that really changed it for me. I was 20 or 21 or something like this. I was in the gym. At the time, I was just basically training, kind of like, I call it fluff. I don't want to be disrespectful to anyone, but I was kind of like doing the bro split and just not tracking my workouts, no general progression. It was just go in, have a workout, sweat it out, work really hard, get a pump, and then piss off home. Come back the next day, do another limb, do another body part, and go again. So I was exercising. I remember this one day I was doing arms. I wanted to do those tricep extensions with the dumbbell kind of behind your head, kind of dipping it up and down. I took whatever, 20, 25, 30 kilo thing, went over to the preacher curl, sat on the thing with my back to the pads, and I just basically raised it up to my lap, raised it up to my shoulder, put the hands in a diamond, and I started wrapping out. I did my set, put it back on the shoulder, and then I kind of jigged my hand placement, and I grabbed the dumbbell to lower it to the floor. And at that moment, as I kind of lowered it and twisted it from my shoulder, I heard this. I had a pop in my lower back. I felt a pop in my back, and this immense. It wasn't pain, man. It was like this immense lethargy, this malaise of my lower body. I just kind of lost power to my lower body. I remember falling to the ground. There was no one else in the gym, man. There was some other guy on the treadmill, kind of wasting his time on the treadmill over there. So I kind of dropped to the floor. He didn't see me or anything. So I just kind of sat there, laid there, kind of on my back for 2 or 3 minutes. And I just kept thinking to myself, I cannot believe that I'm one of those guys, man. I've just done my freaking back in the gym. I was so angry with myself, man. I was freaking furious. And the whole time I was thinking to myself, man, How many times have you said to yourself, be careful with your back, be careful, don't injure your back, don't injure your back, and now you've freaking done it. I had trouble lifting my knees up to my chest. It was like just immense weakness through I thought I did my back in. I basically thought I'd herniated a disc. As I was laying there, I thought to myself, I basically said to myself, your core is weak, you're a weak piece of shit, you're a dumbass, you haven't really worked out your body, what your body really needs, pumping your damn freaking arms while your whole core is weak as a piece of shit. And that angered me. I'm like, why am I just doing this? Strength comes from your core. Why am I wasting my freaking time pumping my triceps when my core is weak? And in this like rage that I had while I was on the floor, I lifted my knees to my, like in a crunch position, my bent kind of knees to my chest, and I just put my hands behind my back and I just started crunching like a madman. I did like 200-300 crunches and I was like in agony, pain, lost my breath. I just kept crunching. I wanted my six pack to like snap off the damn bone. I wanted to turn that muscle on so hard, just like out of frustration. And a part of me was also thinking, okay, my back's had it. I need to turn on my anterior core. So my anterior core is doing most of the controlling of my lower back, because right now my erectors are off because of pain. So I did that. Anyway, I did that for like 10 or 15 minutes. I was like repping out like stupid amount of reps. And at the time, I wasn't really doing core ever. I was just doing, push, pull, arms, shoulders, legs. Even the legs were kind of like an afterthought. So anyway, after like 10 or 15 minutes of that, I ended up slowly kind of gingerly getting up. And I was all right, man. I still remember the sensation. I'm like, man, my core was lit. And I got up and I walked home, went straight to home. And I felt good. I thought I was going to have that kind of malaise, the lethargy of my lower body again, but it didn't happen. Next day I woke up feeling good. And I never really had any hiccups ever since then, man. For those following several months, I just didn't do anything other than core. I was just like doing sit-ups, crunches, Russian twists. I was doing anything I could kind of find on YouTube and Google to do, I did. Basically, the reason I'm telling you this story is that really on in my life, I kind of had a warning shot. I escaped without harm, but I got scared like a motherfucker. I was scared, and that fear is still with me today. When I lift, you guys ask me what are your cues, when you lift, when you squat and deadlift. Man, the only thing I'm thinking, man, is keep your damn back flat. Flat back, flat back, flat back, core, flat back. That's the only thing I'm thinking, to be honest with you, man. That's predominantly the number one thing I have in my mind. You guys have said to me, you've got another 10 or 15 kilos on that deadlift. You probably have another 10 kilos on the squat. It is this fear that kind of makes me steer away from those true maximum grinding, back rounding freaking, attempts. I don't want to go there because it's a training session and I'm not about to kind of win a world championship. There's just too much risk for no reward. What's the point of putting another 10 kilos on, writing that on my training log? There's nothing else there. There's no value in there for me. Huge risk. I could snap my spine. So I'm always kind of like, I guess you could say I'm always like 10 or 5% away from a true maximum lift, because I'm just scared. Because I'm scared of that moment when it happened, and I would never kind of go back to that ever. So some of you guys haven't had that. Some of you guys are 18, 19 years old and you haven't had that. And I remember I was your age and I would listen to some of these videos and people have said this, be careful with your knees and back. I'm like, man, get out of here, man. I want to be a world champion. I've got NBA championships to win. You're telling me about taking it easy, man. I want to run through brick walls. I get it. I was there. I remember that thought. But the mature mind, the coach who's got that young athlete will tell him the number one way to get stronger, to get better, is to stay the hell away from injuries. Your injuries is what holds you back the most. You snap your spine, you snap your knee, you snap your shoulder, you go back 6 months to a year, basically. Because you won't be able to put any good training through that joint. So the number one way you can actually improve is to stay the hell away from injury. And how do you do that? Take your foot off the accelerator, just a fraction. Leave some in the tank, come back another day. It's not sexy, man, I hear you. It's not sexy, but it's the number one way to do it. Practice with good form. I love what Pavel Tsatsouline taught me through that book. Practice strength. It's not annihilate every single body part, every single joint in your body, go home, drink 55 liters of milk, eat 50 cows, go to sleep and wake up and do it again. You do not do that. That's not how you get stronger. Think of practicing. Practice a movement. Go through the motion. Your neurological adaptations will happen. You will get stronger through that mostly. We are not alien freaking species that can just put on 150 kilos of muscle. Hypertrophy has a limit. People always telling me about hypertrophy with strength. I get it, you need it. But you can't put on 50 kilos to your freaking legs, man. There needs to be other things happening, and that is neurological adaptations. Our nerves are freaking running at 10% capacity most of the time, if that. There's a lot of neurological adaptations that happen that get you stronger. Still do your sub 50% stuff. This is what I keep telling you. Sub 50% weight, you get your volume in, your joints are happy, your soft tissue is happy, your muscles happy, and your freaking nerves are getting reminded through these reps of what the hell you want them to do. Everything's happy. But when you're always grinding and hitting the rev limiter at 90, 95, 100% every single day, you're just hitting your head against the wall and you're just waiting for something somewhere to snap, and then you're freaking screwed. So take it from me. I feel like an old guy, saying this stuff, but honestly, man, this is the true way forward. Stay away from injuries. I love the feeling that I woke up this afternoon and I'm like, my back is just fried. Like I couldn't squat. I basically walked in today and I did leg extensions. I worked up to a set of 50. I worked up to 50 kilos for a set of 20. I did a whole bunch of sets, man. I did like 10 or 15 sets or something like this. What did I do? I did 3 sets of 10 kilos, 5 sets of 20 kilos. I did around 10 sets basically, all up. The session has taken an hour so far to do. This is the top set of the squats. My erectors are just so freaking pumped, so sore that I just didn't have the confidence to load any more weight on it. I just called it a 120. That's it. Even walking freaking hurts. Literally from my lumbar spine all the way up to like mid-thoracic back. That's all of those erectors are just fried. Anyway, guys, I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Peace out.